Also known as Shawnos or Southerners, the Shawnee Tribe were ancient residents of the Ohio Valley. The Shawnee tribes were living in villages scattered across southern Ohio, which was their earliest location, Indiana, and Illinois when they first encountered the French in the 1670s. As the Iroquois expanded west, part of the Shawnees were looking for safety in parts of Georgia and Alabama. But by 1715, the Shawnee reassembled in southern Pennsylvania, creating villages along the Susquehanna and Monongahela rivers. But once the Iroquois threat decreased, the Shawnee returned back to their home along central Ohio, often crossing the Ohio River to hunt deer and bison in the bluegrass region of Kentucky. Today they live on reservations in Oklahoma and Missouri, and there are currently over 6,000 Shawnee in the United States. The Shawnee were Algonquian-speaking people who were loyal to both the British and the French, often attempting to use both sides to their advantage. Not only were the Shawnee very friendly to the French, but they also welcomed British traders into their villages. The Shawnee often traded furs and hides with the French and British in order to get in return jewelry such as glass beads, pottery, weapons, and blankets. The Shawnee was also well known for creating baskets that were so tightly woven that they could hold water. The Shawnee were peaceful people, so instead of punishing their children, they praised them for their good behavior and shamed for bad. After a member of the Shawnee tribe died, mourners grieved for 12 days and during that time did not engage in their normal tasks. Then a feast was held, and people returned to their daily activities. But spouses who lost their mate could not wear jewelry or body paint for a year. The Shawnee lived in small groups of extended families made up of mothers, fathers, children, aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins, and in-laws. They lived together in one big dwelling or in houses located near one another. When it came to marriage within the Shawnee tribe, it was usually arranged by the families. The only ceremony was a gift exchange, and afterwards the bride went to live with her husband's family. The Shawnee wore buckskin clothing. In winter, men and women wore shirts, leggings, fur cloaks, and moccasins. Summer clothing consisted of simple breechcloths, which were flaps of material that covered the front and back and hung from the waist. After trading for European goods, the Shawnee developed a fondness for silver, which made Shawnee men easily recognized by their silver earrings and nose rings. Men hunted year-round for deer, bison, elk, bear, turkeys, pheasants, and small fur-bearing animals. Shawnee hunters imitated animal calls and disguised themselves so they could sneak up behind the animal and shoot it with the bow and arrow. No part of an animal went to waste because the Shawnee used the skins for clothing, bones for tools, tendons for thread and bindings, and fat for cooking and skin ointment. In 1777, white settlers seized and killed Shawnee's principal chief, Cornstalk. He was on a peace mission, and outraged, the Shawnee attacked white settlements, killing many residents. In 1779, white militias attacked Chillicothe, which was the principal village of the Shawnee. The Shawnee fought off the attack easily, but with war breaking out in their homeland, they were forced to leave due to the damage that was done to their village. And because of this, nearly 1,000 Shawnee migrated to Missouri. In fall of 1811, Tecumseh journeyed south to recruit more tribes to his confederacy. William Henry Harrison took advantage of this opportunity and marched his army toward Tippecanoe, halting within a mile of the village. Shawnee prophet Tenskwatawa ordered an attack on the army encampment during the night. After 2 hours of battle, the Indians began to retreat, even though they had inflicted heavy losses on Harrison's troops. The Battle of Tippecanoe was over. Harrison's troops burned Tippecanoe and brutally murdered and mutilated the warriors they captured. Historians have now revealed that Harrison's claims of being a war hero at the battle were greatly exaggerated due to the fact that his troops suffered a greater loss than the Shawnee did at the battle. When the War of 1812 broke out between the British and Americans, Tecumseh offered his support to the British. He campaigned all among the Indians and the Great Lakes region, winning many converts to the British cause. The British troops made their stand at the Thames River, but they quickly collapsed under pressure from the Americans. Tecumseh's warriors fought until they were overwhelmed by superior numbers of the Americans. Tecumseh died from a bullet to the chest. The Battle of Thames ended in an American victory. The last hope Native Americans had of containing land-hungry Americans east of the Mississippi seemed to die with Tecumseh at the Battle of the Thames. In 1793, the Shawnee Tribe ancestors received Spanish land grant in Missouri. In 1817, the Treaty of Fort Meigs granted Shawnees still in northwest Ohio 3 reservations. By 1824, about 800 Shawnee lived in Ohio and 1,383 in Missouri. In 1830, Ohio Shawnees signed a treaty with the U.S. giving them lands on the Kansas Reservation. And by 1854, the U.S. government destroyed much of the Kansas Reservation down to 160,000 acres. Shawnee leader Tecumseh and his brother Tenskwatawa, who was a prophet of the Shawnee Tribe, played a huge role in uniting the Shawnee Tribe through leading a resistance against the American settlement. Both were looking to defend the land of their people from white intrusion. Today, the absentee Shawnee Tribe of Oklahoma is a current federally recognized tribe of Shawnee people in the United States. The population is 3,050 and is one of 3 current recognized tribes of Shawnee people in the U.S.